You're at an ice cream shop. They have over 50 flavors. As you approach the counter, you're excited. Ah, so many possibilities. What will you get? Vanilla, chocolate, plague, pistachio, rocky road, cookie dough. Your mind races. What if you choose wrong? And then you notice the other customers. They're moving quickly, ordering their ice creams and leaving. You feel that same desire to just pick something and go, but now you're overwhelmed. Oh my God, how can I decide? What if there's a better flavor further down the list? What if you choose wrong? What if you choose wrong? What if you choose wrong? It takes you 10 minutes to order your ice cream. You get home and it tastes fine, but you can't shake this feeling of what if there was something better. The paradox of choice is a psychological concept made popular by psychologist Barry Schwartz. Having too many options does not increase our satisfaction. It actually reduces it. In his book, The Paradox of Choice, Why More is Less, Schwartz argues that in our everyday lives, we are faced with an overwhelming number of decisions, both big and small, from the mundane to the monumental. And he suggests that having so many options can be paralyzing and overwhelming. We live in a culture that promotes endless choice, and while having options is generally seen as a good thing, Schwartz argues that too much of a good thing can become a bad thing. So why is the abundance of choices making us unhappy? Let's break it down. When faced with endless options, we spend so much time thinking about what could be or what might be better that we forget to appreciate what we actually have. We start to feel a sense of uncertainty, anxiety, fear. Are we really making the best choice? This constant doubt leads to analysis paralysis, where we overthink and overanalyze every decision we make. And when we do eventually make a decision, we wonder if we chose the right thing. This causes us to constantly look back and ruminate about the paths not taken. The psychologist Daniel Gilbert describes this as post-decision regret or opportunity cost. Essentially, after making a decision, we tend to focus on the potential benefits we might have gained from the options we did not choose, whether or not they were actually better. This constant reflection and second-guessing takes up valuable mental energy, and instead of being able to move forward and enjoy the benefits of our choices, we find ourselves stuck in a loop of what-ifs. Imagine you're looking for a new job. You see a position that seems like a good fit. You apply and get called for an interview, but as the day of the interview approaches, you start to feel nervous. What if there's a better job out there for me? You think to yourself. You start to question whether you really want this job or if you should keep looking. On the day of the interview, you show up, but you're distracted and unfocused. You don't perform at your best, and ultimately, you don't get the job. In this scenario, the endless options of other potential jobs that may or may not be out there are causing you stress and anxiety. Even though you thought the initial job was a good fit, you let the possibility of something better hold you back. And as a result, you miss out on an opportunity that may have been a good fit. So who are we as decision makers? Do we fall into maximizing or satisficing? A maximizer is someone who wants to seek out the very best option, the absolute best one, the highest quality, the most perfect one. They tend to research extensively, read reviews, compare prices, talk to everyone they know. They want to make the optimal choice. However, because of this, they often end up feeling more regret. After all, they are trying to maximize their satisfaction and avoid missing out on anything better. A satisficer, on the other hand, is someone who just wants to find an option that is good enough. They set a minimum bar, and when they find something that meets that bar, they are satisfied. Satisficers tend to experience less stress and less regret because they are not constantly comparing their choice to all the other options out there. So which one are you? A maximizer or a satisficer? If you lean towards being a maximizer, Schwartz suggests that you may want to reframe the way you think about choices. Instead of always trying to find the absolute best option, try to be satisfied with something that is good enough. When we reframe our thinking in this way, we can reduce the amount of stress and anxiety we feel when making decisions. We learn to appreciate what we have instead of always wanting what we don't have. Think back to that ice cream shop scenario. Maybe you decided to go for the chocolate ice cream. Reframing your thinking might mean learning to be satisfied with your choice, without constantly wondering if you should have gone for the pistachio or the plague. It's about appreciating the taste of the chocolate in the moment, rather than dwelling on the other flavors. Schwartz also suggests using what he calls curation. Curation is the act of narrowing down your options before you make a decision. By doing this, you reduce the number of choices you have to consider and make the decision-making process less overwhelming. For example, let's say you're scrolling through Netflix trying to find a movie to watch. Instead of letting the endless options of hundreds of movies on Netflix overwhelm you, you can curate your choices by creating a list of your favorite genres, creating a list of actors you enjoy watching, or even setting a timer for 10 minutes and seeing what movie catches your interest within that time frame. By doing this, you've taken control of the decision-making process and reduced the chances of feeling overwhelmed and unsatisfied with your ultimate choice. This relates to real life in many ways, from deciding what to eat to choosing a job, a relationship, a career path. In today's world, we are faced with more options than ever before. From the clothes we wear to the foods we eat to the partners we date, the opportunities are endless. And while this might sound like a great thing, it can quickly become overwhelming. Having too many options can lead to analysis paralysis and dissatisfaction. We spend so much time worrying about making the perfect choice that we forget to appreciate what we have. That sounds familiar. Don't worry. There's a way to beat this phenomenon. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and share it with your friends. This helps the video reach more people and helps them too. Also, if you want to learn more about happiness and the science behind it, subscribe to the channel. Now let's get back to the video. So what can we do about this? Schwartz suggests two main things. First, we need to learn to be satisfied with what we have. This means appreciating the positive aspects of our lives and the choices we've made, rather than constantly focusing on the negative or what could be better. Second, we need to use curation to narrow down our options before making a decision. This can help us make more efficient and effective choices without becoming overwhelmed. In a study conducted by Iyengar and Lepper in 2000, they found that people who had fewer options to choose from were more satisfied with their choice than those who had more options. For example, participants who were shown 6 options of jam to taste and buy were more likely to purchase the jam and report being satisfied with their choice compared to participants who were shown 24 options. This suggests that having fewer options can lead to greater satisfaction. Of course, this doesn't mean that we should actively seek out situations with fewer options, but it does suggest that we can learn to be satisfied with the options we have, rather than always wanting what we don't have. It's also important to note that the paradox of choice is not a blanket statement against making big, important decisions. Schwartz himself acknowledges this. He argues that sometimes making a choice, even from a large pool of options, is better than not making a choice at all. For example, choosing to leave a bad relationship or choosing to pursue a dream job, even if there is some level of risk involved, can lead to greater happiness and fulfillment in the long run. Rather, the paradox of choice highlights the importance of being aware of the potential downsides of having too many options. It encourages us to think critically about the decisions we make and to take steps to mitigate the negative effects of choice overload. In conclusion, the paradox of choice suggests that while having options is a good thing, too many options can lead to stress, anxiety, and dissatisfaction. When faced with an overwhelming number of choices, we can use techniques like reframing and curation to make better decisions and lead happier, more fulfilling lives. Ultimately, it's about finding a balance between the freedom of choice and the satisfaction that comes from committing to a single option.